Simon und Dave, Strumbellas, sind heute bei uns. Welcome, guys. How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. How's the tour been going so far?
It's been fantastic. We love being in Germany and in Europe in general. They treat artists so well over here, so it's very nice.
Did you have a favorite stop already?
Oh, that's a good question.
We played in Milan, and I like going to Milan because I have a favorite pizza place there. So every time we're in Europe, I try and go. And I got to go this time.
Do you want to hear a funny story?
Go ahead.
So we were in Rome, and, we only get to go to Italy so often. So right before the show, they gave us like a 5-course meal, like huge Italian feast. And then we went and played like half hour after. And then immediately after the show, we called the promoter and we were like, yeah, can we now get 5 big pizzas as well? So like we ate a lot of food in Italy.
From one food coma to the next.
Yeah.
That's the way to go, and you got Germany still ahead of you, so...
And Germany, I always find that they have the best, like, home-cooked meals. It's just always so nice.
Like backstage at the show.
Yeah, like backstage at the show.
It's always very nice.
It's very, very nice.
Perfect. I'm glad you like it here. Now, we got to talk about your record, which you released in March this year. It's called Rattlesnake. Would you mind just explaining what the title stands for, what it represents?
Yeah, absolutely. Snakes are like my biggest fear, like number one, snakes. So I think making this record, we were all a little scared. Spirits did really well around the world, and so it was a hard record to make in the sense that we felt a little pressure and putting it out was a scary thing, and going back on the road away from our families. So I think Rattlesnake just captured the way that we were feeling during making the record and putting it out.
And the first single off of the record is called Salvation, right? And it sounds so joyful. Was that like the kickoff for you to a more brighter sound?
I think so. I think when that was the first song that we started working on for the new record, and we were excited about it just because it was fun and not too heavy, and we love that style of music. We love pop music, we love fun music, so we were all pretty excited to have a song that was just a joyful, fun song to play.
I mean, and it only mentions death like 3 or 4 times,
yeah,
so it's
which is like
that's
a record
pretty good for us. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice quote, right? There is a part of lyrics that I liked when you say you like to spend all your money on things that you don't need. What's the last thing you purchased that's absolutely useless?
I know that.
Well, I just spent, I think it was 140 euros on a big thing of Lego to build while I'm on the road. So that was the last purchase that I made that I absolutely didn't need in any way, shape, or form, but I bought it anyways, and so I've been hard at work.
So what are you building right now?
I'm building currently the old Volkswagen van. Yeah, it's like 1,200 pieces, and me and Johnny, who's also in the band, are spending day and night trying to get it done.
I wasn't invited to help build it.
We don't trust his work.
So
we don't... we're worried about the quality of work with Dave. So
okay, I'm not trying to spark any conflict so much.
Well, you did.
You just did.
I'm so sorry.
Worms.
Do you buy any souvenirs while you're on the road? Now that you just mentioned you bought Lego, which is not a classic souvenir, but is there anything that you like to take home with you?
Big time. I have a son. He's 7 years old. He collects buttons, so I like to get buttons. I have about 4 or 5 Deutschland buttons at home, and anything for family members, like whether it's T-shirts or whether it's hats. I always try to get something for the family, for the places that we go to, for sure.
Nice one. Now, your bio says that for the record, you used audio notes back from 2009. How come?
That refers to the song Salvation, where it was just a song that's been around for a long time. There were parts of that song that were written before the band was even formed, right? And we when we were working on our first album, we were working on the song and we just sort of couldn't get it right. And it just didn't feel right. And then, so we shelved it. And then a few years later, we started working on it again. Oh, maybe there's something here. And we just couldn't get it right. And then finally for this record, we changed a few things around and it really finally seemed to work.
But you still had to alter things, right? Or did you just like copy paste it?
No, it was changed quite a bit from the original. And it was just a matter of finally getting the right pieces.
And the right time, probably as well, right? Was I'll Wait a part of those audio notes as well?
Yes, and not only was it an old song, but when our manager sent it to me, I had no memory of making it. Zero memory. I have no idea where it was made, when I made it, but she sent it to me and I was like, hey, I really like this. Let's try to make it for the new record.
Well, I'm glad you discovered it again, because I absolutely love this song.
Oh, stop it.
Oh, yeah, wow.
You're too kind.
That's just me, you know. Now, and when I was listening to that song, I felt like it just gives you like this cozy hug and makes you feel loved and thinking about your loved ones and family. What does family mean to you guys?
Pretty much everything. I'm 36, and there's an old saying, at least in Canada, where, you know, sometimes it takes a dad a little longer to accept being a parent. And this is not for everybody, but for me, that was the case. So now that I'm getting older, I'm really appreciating my children and my wife and my mom and my brothers and sisters. And you'll ask Dave, I don't really even have any friends. I just hang out with my family every day. So family is very important. And I got an English bulldog, you know, the ones with that snore and fart. And he's changed my life. So he's my number one.
Nice one. What would you say?
I just had, my wife and I just had a baby.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. She's 6 months old. And it is a pretty, life-changing experience. And it's awful being away now, much more than it used to be. But yeah, just echoing what Simon says, I mean, family is everything.
I hear you guys. Now, there's another song on the record which is called One Hand Up, and you're singing about we can be the change we want to see. What change would you like to see in the world nowadays?
The number one thing that pops up in my head is I'd like to see that sharks stop getting killed. My son is a huge shark fan, and way too many sharks are being killed, and it's creating an imbalance in our ocean. And so I would love to see that stop.
Yeah, I think as a band we've heard from a lot of people. Some of us have experienced difficulties with mental health in the past, and we have heard from a lot of people who are finding challenges with their mental health and listening to our music, and it means something to them. And so having more awareness and acceptance of people who are dealing with mental health issues is something that I would like to see change.
And more English bulldogs. There's not enough English bulldogs in this world.
That's probably one of the easiest problems we can tackle, right?
That's probably true.
Let's start with this one. Now that you just mentioned mental health and music maybe being something that can help people like deal with their everyday life and stuff. Now I read a quote from you, Simon, which says, "It's my hope that this music makes people feel something they may not have otherwise felt that day." What's one of the most memorable stories oh my God, that you shared with a fan?
Just 2 days ago, we were in Zurich, Switzerland, and a woman was outside of our tour bus, and she was crying because our music meant so much to her. And to me, I was just like, I was in shock. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is truly touching and humbling. And so that was a big deal to me. But that's kind of an example of where, you know, I'm like blown away by the fan response. If somebody cries, that's awesome.
And how much impact music can have, right, on people?
Absolutely.
Especially
Yeah.
when it's your own words. I can imagine it's crazy seeing people react like that.
It is. It's almost like you don't believe it. You just kind of think she must be talking about somebody else because surely it's not me or our band. It's. Are you sure you're not here to see Rod Stewart? You know what I mean? So yeah, it's awesome.
But it is you guys. And there was another song that you guys wrote that had a big impact on people, which is called Spirits. And I was wondering, what meaning does the song have for you as a band?
Well, it started out just as a simple, fun song that we made about depression. It's pretty openly about depression. Not me, per se, but other band members. No, I'm just kidding. It is me. And it turned into a life-changing song for us because we had messages from people like, my brother just committed suicide and we listened to Spirits together. I'm in the hospital with my mom. She has stage 4 cancer. We're listening to Spirits together. So we were blown away by the response we got from that song. And we didn't mean for that. We were just trying to write a song to express our pain. And so that was like, it was pretty life-changing, I'd say, for me and for the band in general.
Yeah, because you were like so well known with this song, right?
Yeah, it was great. It was awesome.
All over the place, pretty much. Now, I saw that you've done a cover of Summer of '69 by Bryan Adams before.
Yes, and do you want to know what else?
What else?
At the Junos are like the Canadian Grammys. I got to go up and sing Summer of '69 with Bryan Adams.
That must have been a crazy experience.
It was sweet. It was pretty cool, yeah. So anyway, sorry to interrupt, but I had to tell you that.
You got to tell that story. So what's your connection to him? Is there like, he's Canadian as well?
He's Canadian?
But
Yeah, we have the Canadian connection. My wife swears that he made cutie eyes at her at a musical event. So basically, we're enemies. That's my connection to Bryan Adams.
lots of jealousy.
Yeah, very jealous. He's a handsome man to this day.
He's got great hair. His hair is perfect all the time. Whenever you see him, he's got perfect hair.
Kudos to Bryan Adams. Do you have any 80s music that you find inspiring for yourself?
Oh my gosh. Like, I grew up on heavy metal. My oldest brother was a metal fan. Guns N' Roses, Poison, all those bands. So I grew up, Twisted Sister. So that was a huge influence on me growing up. And I still listen to 80s music all the time. And you like New Order and
All that stuff.
All that stuff too.
Yeah, my number one most. If you look at Spotify, my number one most repeated song is an '80s song called "Your Love" by this band, The Outfield. You probably, that doesn't ring a bell, but if you heard the song, you would know it. And so yeah, I'm stuck in the past in some ways, but the '80s is a good decade for music.
Yeah, I totally agree. Now, when I was stalking you a bit on the Instagram, I saw that you feature lots of your fan art on Instagram and your stories, and I was wondering, do you have another creative outlet that you use apart from music?
Simon draws sometimes, right?
Yeah, but not really. One thing is I like to make Lego stuff, but we actually don't have a lot of other outlets, do we? Like in the grand, like often musicians will be painters too, and they'll be actors, but
yeah,
we don't have too much of that, do we?
No, not things that we make. I mean, our bass player Daryl and I will go to art galleries and stuff. Like we have things that we appreciate, but we don't make visual art or anything like that.
Yeah. Kind of one-trick ponies. Now that you bring it up, actually.
That's all right. You're good at that one trick, so why would you need another one? Do you draw any of your tattoos yourself, or do you just get them done?
No, I don't have. I can't do that well. Yeah.
That's okay. Now, you just mentioned you went to an art museum the other day. What do you like to do on your days off while you're on tour?
That's one of the main things that I like to do. My older sister's a visual artist, and I've always been interested in visual art. I had, I guess actually speaking of side things, I did do an art installation with my sister in Montreal last year. So I guess that's something. But yeah, I'm interested in visual art. Daryl, our bass player, is very interested in it, and so we will sometimes go for walks and just poke around galleries. I really find contemporary art very beautiful and interesting, and sometimes totally baffling and frustrating. But yeah, it's kind of my number one thing to do when we're out on the road.
Similar to Dave, I have watched, the TV show Friends? Mm-hmm. I've watched all 13 seasons over 12 times. So similar to you, kind of a contemporary art fan.
That
if
show
you
has
will.
13 seasons.
I think it's 13, maybe it's 12.
That's too many.
But so, that's kind of like art, right?
Sounds like a sport to me.
Yeah, touche.
Now, you're taking your songs to the stage these days. What does a typical Strumbellas show look like?
A lot of group singing. We all like to sing together. There's 6 of us, so it's a big band, a big vocal sound. A lot of dancing. We hope that the audience will sing along, dance along. And yeah, it's just like a lot of people, good time.
Our guitarist, John, since the last record, he spent all his time in the gym working out, so he's gotten real muscular. So our main goal is to try to get him to take off his shirt during a show, but it hasn't happened yet. That's what we're really working towards.
So he doesn't want to show off his guns?
He's not ready for that yet, no.
All right, well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Maybe tonight's tonight.
Maybe tonight, because I'll be there, so that's like one argument,
Boom.
Has the meaning of playing live changed for you, like looking back? Because I feel like people don't really want to buy music anymore. Is that something that grew more important during the years?
I do think it's playing live is becoming more and more of an interesting experience, because I don't think people often listen to records together anymore. I don't think people, I guess there's music at parties, but most of the time when we hear and experience music, it's from our phone in tiny headphones. It's like coming from a laptop. Music is all small and individual now, and so to be in a big place with big speakers, lots of people all experiencing something together, I think it's even movies half the time. You're watching them on Netflix by yourself on your iPad. Like everything is getting smaller, and so to be able to be together and experience something with a big group of people, I think is becoming more and more important and exciting.
Yeah, making it more of an experience again, right? Do you have any rituals before hitting the stage?
No, and we often make a joke about it because we toured with a band from Canada. Before every show, they'd all get their hands in and they'd be like, 1, 2, 3. And so we were like, oh, we should do something like that. But we don't really have any.
I'm jealous though. Like I've turned around on it. We used to make fun of bands like that, and now I wish we had them. We were watching that movie Almost Famous the other day, and they have a cool pre-show ritual. It made me really jealous. I wish we instead of being jerks and making fun of the bands who had pre-show rituals, I wish we had gotten some for ourselves. Yeah.
Maybe you can come up with some kind of competition, and your fans can find something for you.
Oh, that's a good idea. A pre-show ritual invention contest.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
Do you have any rules on are you going or are you on the road with a nightliner? Do you have any rules to keep everyone sane, or are you all just well-behaved people?
We're very respectful of each other. You'd be amazed. I think it's probably because we're all in our 30s now. We don't really do anything too bad because we're just very nice to each other. We know that we're all on the road. We know we're all away from our families. We know we have a very small bus with 12 people in it. So we try our best to just be as nice as possible to each other.
No one's allowed to eat the mozzarella that I bought from Italy. That's one rule.
That's true. Dave buys food, and he'll write on our WhatsApp, he'll say, just a friendly reminder, I bought some mozzarella, and if you could just maybe not touch that, that'd be great. And I'm very particular about my Coca-Colas, too. If I have Coca-Colas on the bus and I see someone drinking one, I'm like, what are you drinking over there? Twitch.
Don't get you started. Did you buy anything in Germany yet that you want to take home with you?
Oh, not yet. What's a good, what should I buy my wife?
Stein. A wicked Stein. Yeah.
for a pregnant woman.
Yeah. I mean, she doesn't have
not
to
a great
drink
idea.
beer out of it. It's just a huge glass. It's awesome.
Okay, that's solved.
We've now solved that problem.
Okay, I'm glad you did, because I usually don't come up with things when people ask me. I'm like, let me check.
I want to get one of those traditional German outfits with
The lederhosen.
the lederhosen. That's what I gotta get.
Oh, you gotta. You're playing in Munich, no?
I don't think
No,
so.
don't
no,
think
you're not
so.
playing. But no, just Berlin and Hamburg, right? But because the Oktoberfest is right on.
Oh,
right
it's right now. Oh, that'd be the perfect
So that would have
place.
been the perfect time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
okay, next time around. So what's the next big thing happening for the Strumbellas?
Well, this year and last year have been tour. So we're gonna go home. We have a few radio shows. Like we have some in the United States of America and Canada, and then we do our big Canadian tour in January. But overall, we're just gonna have a nice Christmas, and that's it, really.
Do you have any rituals for Christmas? Is there a certain way that you celebrate with your families?
Yeah, I take Christmas pretty seriously. We do everything because, there's so much snow. We do sledding and we do ice skating and we do snowman building and I buy an enormous amount of presents for my kids. And yeah, so we have a very fun holiday-filled Christmas for sure.
My family always watches the same movie on Christmas Eve. We watch Alistair Sim's A Christmas Carol. It's the black and white one from the 1950s. And we know it all by heart now, so we're all like chanting out the lines before they happen. And then we open one present on Christmas Eve, and then the rest of it's pretty normal.
We open one present on Christmas Eve too. Do you do that too?
Yeah, because it's all Christmas Eve in Germany.
It is?
Oh.
You open all your presents on Christmas Eve?
Yeah, 24th. Yeah, mind blown, right?
Wow.
When does it start? Like after dinner?
Yeah, we do. Well, sometimes we do it before dinner, even, I have to admit. But yeah.
No kidding.
No kidding.
Well, there you have it.
It's
There's nothing wrong with that. It's everybody has their own cup of tea, so that's cool.
yeah. So we're excited for Christmas, and we're excited to have you here. Thank you for coming, and enjoy the rest of your tour.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.